about it. All right, that track we heard was Any Fool, released in 2022 by a four-piece band from the Sunshine Coast called Owls of Neptune. And we are joined by Matt and Pete from the Owls of Neptune. How did we get the name, and why are there only two owls?
Well, the other two owls were supposed to be here, but they couldn't make it. So, yeah, they've had other things that they had to get to. But the actual name came from one of the guys that was supposed to be here, and he's not here. So there's a few reasons he's give us for the name. But I think basically he was writing short stories, and this was one of the titles of one of the books that he was writing. And he's still not finished it yet, but it was a cool name, and we was originally called Red Letter, and then we realised that there's 100 red letters out there, and so there was a name change needed, and he just come up with what about Owls of Neptune, and it just sat with us all. And there was a Tony Frogmouth owl that came to the tree as we was discussing it, and it's like, all right, that's the sign, we're doing it, we'll go for that. And we just stuck with the name. The bass player come up with a logo in like 10 minutes, and so we're like, all right, feels right, so we stuck with it.
So the universe is telling you have to be an owl.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Been one ever since.
Sorry?
Been an owl ever since.
Now, Sunshine Coast, whereabouts are you guys based?
What's a lot? Just near Kawana.
Yep.
In Caloundra.
Cool. And is it nice up there? Of course it is.
It's beautiful. It's been a bit humid over the last couple of weeks, but it's awesome. Like, there's a lot of things going on up here, and we're really privileged to be in such a good spot. It's awesome. You've got the beaches, you've got the forest, you've got everything you want in a stone's throw away, got everything.
That's cool. Now, how long have you guys been around?
I think we got together, or we was ready to gig. It was 2020, wasn't it? 2020, because COVID kicked in just as we was about to start gigging. COVID kicked in, and we're like, oh, well, we can't do much, so we ended up just recording our first album at home. But yeah, it's 2020 we got together, and it's been going pretty good ever since. Like, as soon as we actually did get to gig, we've got the right gigs, and we've got in the right places, and we seem to be making a little bit of a mark.
We had sort of dibbled and dabbed previous to in previous years. Like, I'd played with Pete just in another band, like a three-piece years and years ago, trying to write original stuff. And I think you had a stint with Toddy at one stage a few years ago. And then anyway, when no one was doing anything, I was away in the mines and whatnot, just previous to this 2020. And when I came back, Pete had found the bass player, Jay, and then got a hold of me because I was back in Queensland and said, I can't play drums. And I loved playing with the two of them. And then lo and behold, Todd came along a couple of weeks later, and then we were into it. It's been great ever since.
Totally weird question. Why does music have a thing against odd numbers? It always sticks in even numbers. Well, see, the drummers go and a 1 and a 2. Bass guitars are 4 strings. Normal guitars are 6 strings. And choreographers go 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, I don't know how to answer. What I can say is our bassist has got 5 strings.
Yeah, all I took out of the whole thing was that choreographers used 2 of them.
Yeah.
5 and the 7.
I just saw the 5th member of the band wander past you.
Oh, Rock Dog. Yeah. She's also in our latest video clip. She's the star of the show, mate.
Cool. So how do you classify yourself? What genre of music?
This has been really tricky.
This is a good one. That is a good one. It's not a silly question.
No, I've got them later.
We actually spoke about this for a while. Like, when we first started, everyone said, oh, you sound like psychedelic rock. Someone said indie rock. And because, I don't know, we don't set out to be like a prog rock band or a indie rock band. We don't have any kind of idea of what the song needs to be like. We just literally play the song and give it what it needs. Like, there's one song that it's just piano and lead guitar. There's no drums, there's no bass. And it's like, we don't even know how to class it. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, in this day and age, the amount of genres there are, like, it's so hard. Psychedelic rock would be the closest thing that I could see us being, because it's, diverse, There's a lot of dynamics going on.
Who does most of the songwriting?
Definitely Pete.
Yeah, for the moment, I mean, just to get us started, I've written about 300 songs over the course of years, obviously. But just to get us going, because we needed something, obviously, and it was just like, all right, these are easy to learn or not easy to learn, they were easy for me to play. And then everyone else could put their own bit to it. And basically, when I bring a song to the boys, it changes drastically from what I originally wrote it. Like Matt will come up with ideas like, oh, why don't we do a full stop here, or a fill at this part and then drop that verse. Jay will come up with some bass riff, and then Todd will come up with some lead, and it'll transform completely so it becomes our own song. But the core of it so far has been I've been writing the songs and we've nutted it out together. But recently we've been jamming our new stuff, and Matt's got songs that we can do. So has Todd and Jay, and Todd even just made one up while we was jamming the other day, and we've already got that one evolving. So it's kind of a growing thing. Like it started with me writing the songs, but now we're all kind of rolling with it.
So how do you get, like how do I ask everyone this, song ideas? Like you said, you've written 300 songs.
Yeah.
I think I would struggle to write one meaningful song. So how do you come up with the songs?
It's not like I think when I try and think, right, I'm going to write a song about this, I can't do it. I think too literal and it doesn't come out as poetic as I'd like. Usually it just comes to me like, I don't know, if I'm in a heightened state of like happiness or really down in a bad mood, I'll just get the guitar or the piano, whatever it is, and I'll just hit it anywhere. And if that chord kind of strikes an emotion in me, it's just like, I don't know, I kind of switch off and these words start pouring out, and it's almost like therapy for me, and it just comes out of nowhere. And I couldn't tell you what I'm writing about as I'm writing it, but afterwards I'm thinking, oh, that's what it was about. It's a weird,
Matt? How do you get your songs?
I'm sort of, I would say, much the same as Pete, except I'm definitely not as creative in terms lyrically. I've never written as many songs, but in terms with I've loved such a wide range of music growing up with two older sisters pumping Grease and all sorts carrying into me that for me, like Pete's songs are so amazingly beautiful as soon as he writes them. You know what I mean? So it was very hard at the start to like, what do you even do to songs that have that sort of mood and feeling in them already? You know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously as a percussionist, it's like I can just do stuff in the background. But once we started growing as a band, as people were saying, like it's becoming more and more spontaneous now. And the best thing about the band is that, like I've been in other bands in the past, and it's hard to say to a guitarist when you're not really a guitarist, like, how about try this idea? Or how about put, like a lick that sort of sounds like this here, and vice versa. Like they might say to me, like, oh, how about you put your beat backwards there, or go half time, or put a fill here and there. And in this band, it feels like that's such a massive part of it. Like the creative side of it is so much fun when we're doing it. Like that's the best part of it,
Do you have any arguments?
Oh, of course, there's arguments. Yeah, but in terms of in the comparison to what I suppose you judge against other things, no, not really.
I'd say in the 3 years we've probably had two blow-ups. Yeah, I'd say in the whole 3 years.
Yeah, and none of which have been hard to resolve or anything, or taken time to resolve. Just
I think that if you're four people stuck in a little space, at some point you're going to annoy someone at some point in time, aren't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
So what's the gigging like around the Central Coast now that COVID's over?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all right. Like there's more and more venues shutting down by the minute. Like on you got the Night Quad was the biggest one on the Sunshine Coast that just all of a sudden stopped. Like there was loads of big bands going in there, and it was really good for the Sunny Coast, and that just shut down recently. Then there was another place we played in 11 Dive Bar just in Maroochydore there that had to shut down, and now we've just heard that there's another one in Brisbane that's had to close down because someone's complained for the noise complaints, and it's right in the middle of the music, like Fortitude Valley in Brisbane. So it's like there's more and more getting shut down, but there are more and more people opening up as well. Like a lot of the breweries are starting to be venues, and a lot of the cafes and that are starting to bring live music into it. So
bit of a shift.
It's growing, and the original side of it, like it's not all covers. Like original music is really starting to pump up it. There's so many bands that are really good.
Yeah, a lot of good bands. Heaps of talent up there. It's awesome.
Do you find it frustrating that these venues have to close down because someone's decided to live next to it and doesn't like loud music?
It is a bit frustrating, because it's like you know what you're getting into when you move next to these joints. It's. I mean, it's usually like, especially one round the corner from where we are. There's an apartment complex of about 100 people in there. There's one person that's complained, and because of that one person, it's all got to stop. Just for the one, it's like, but everybody else, like, it got such a great community spirit going in that place where I'm talking about, and it just had to stop because one person decided to complain. You know,
Well, that happened a lot in Melbourne pre-COVID. You know, people would buy into these flashy apartments and they go, "Oh, it's awfully noisy." Well, you know, you brought an apartment block.
I want to live in the city. Noisy in the city.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it? You buy a house next to a pub and then it's like people, we used to live near Essendon Airport and people bought houses there and everything. And then they wanted to shut the airport down. I mean, the airport's been there like 50 odd years. You know? Oh, the airport's noisy. Well, what? You didn't think it was going to be noisy? Anyway.
Yeah. Think before you buy it.
So you are getting gigs though.
Yeah. But this year has started to ramp up a lot. Like we've done good. Like the first year we came out of COVID, we got on Caloundra Music Festival, which is pretty massive for us. And then last year, the end of last year, we played at Early Beach Music Festival. And since then, because I guess when you play at festivals, you get more and more people than you would normally get. We've started to get a bit of a following, and we're still getting gigs around the coast. Like we're playing at we're playing in Brisbane on Sunday actually in 2 days. King Lear's Throne, and then we've got Norton Music Factory playing at, and we're playing at Gymna Rocks Festival, and so they're coming in thick and fast, and we've got more planned for the rest of the year as well. Like they're definitely coming in, but we're trying to spread ourselves out a bit now and reach a wider audience.
Yep. Do you guys have a day gig?
Yeah, I am wallpaper.
We all have a day gig.
What do you do, Matt?
I operate machines on excavators and loaders and whatnot. Jay, our bass player, is like a engineer draftsperson, and Toddy works at the music shop on the Sunshine Coast.
Cool. Would you like music to be your full-time gig?
That's what we're aiming for.
I'd have to think about it, Brian, to be honest with you. No, 100%, of course.
Matt's going, "No, I like driving excavators."
Yeah. I don't even listen to music when I'm in them, you know.
Sorry, I just had this image of you going, "I don't even listen to my music while I'm in it." Now, AMRAP, that's where I track you guys down because you know I run a show called the AMRAP All Aussie Music Show, and all I do is play music off AMRAP for 2 hours a week. So I just download whatever comes up in the week, plus the top 10. When are we going to see you guys in the top 10?
Oh, hopefully after your show.
Oh, I hope so. I noticed, I had a look at who downloads you a lot. 4ZZZ give you guys a good run.
Yeah, they played us not too long ago as well, which is pretty cool because we're pretty green at all this kind of stuff. Even though we've been doing it for a while, we've been more focused on doing the live show and all that kind of stuff. But then you realise that there's a lot of online things that you have to get involved with as well. And so this year is all about getting more involved with that kind of stuff. And we just didn't want to get away from the creative side that we love, but we understand that we've got to do that to keep doing what we're doing. And so, yeah, we're trying to pour ourselves more into that kind of side of it, you know.
It is a bit of a struggle when you have one path, which is the music, and then you're going down but to get that music out there now that you guys are getting known through the festivals, you've got to increase your social media presence.
Well, this is it. And that's the thing that any other bands that have been in before, it might be a bit of a dinosaur thinking, but we used to print out flyers and posters, and that's how we would get our audience. But nowadays, it literally is everybody's on the computer, and it's not that new to us, you know what I mean? It's just that we don't sit at them that often. We literally get together once a week, and for that once a week, we just want to knock out as many new songs as we can because we've got about 40 on the go at the minute. We don't want to look at the computer. We want to get these done, get them recorded. But yeah, we've said this year that we're going to try and engage in that a lot more because we don't want someone else doing it for us because it looks kind of fake and it's not from you, you know? So we've got to get involved in it.
A friend of mine plays in a Melbourne band called Man City Sirens. And I said they have to change the name now that they've recruited Giovanna. They have to call it Man City /Woman Sirens, but that didn't go over.
No, well.
But she does all their social media because she's a documentary filmmaker on the side. That's one of her hobbies.
Okay.
So she just rips videos up, and her husband, who works for one of the unis, he's a really, really good photographer. So between the two of them, they knock out their social media in about half an hour a week.
Right, okay.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
It does help because we've had a few people offer, but we just felt like it was a bit weird if it didn't come from us, you know. I mean, the stuff with the radio stations and all that, like AMRAP and all that, I got onto that. I think it was Any Fool when I first realised, hang on, we can get on radio here, like, and so then I started uploading stuff to the AMRAP. But yeah, all the other things that go along with it, we just feel it'd be better coming from us so that people get to know who we are, and then obviously if it gets too much, then you can reel somebody in to do it for you. But now we want to get used to it and know how it all works as well.
Now, before we go to my silly six,
yep,
we're going to play Fire after the interview. Tell me about the song. What's it about?
It's quite a happy tune. It's about like I guess finding the fire inside, like the passion inside. Like I guess it was kind of written after. It was probably around the time we played Airlie Beach, and we were so happy and all pumped. And it's just like, yes, we found that magic that we all want to do, and it was pretty much about that. It's about reigniting that passion inside and just going for your dreams.
Who wrote that one?
I wrote that one.
Oh, cool. That's why he knows what it's all about. So,
but that's right. But then
that would have been hilarious if I go, I did it. I wrote it.
But
that was his take on my song. Now let me tell you what it's really about.
But he didn't even flinch when I said it. He didn't go, oh, well, you know, well, I did. Me. No.
But I did. But again, that was the same thing. That has transformed from what I actually wrote it as. It was a literally acoustic song like that halftime at the start that we do.
Yeah.
It never came from me. That came from everybody else. And
the breakdown.
The break, everything, it changed, but it became our song, you know. So I might have wrote the lyrics, but it came from all of us.
Yeah, and it was it definitely captured the feeling and vibe. Really, like we're going away. We were away doing what we want to do, you know.
And I'm not backpedaling at all.
I was going to say, you're trying to be humble now, Pete. All right, let's finish up with the silly six, guys.
Okay.
Pizza on pineapple, yes or no?
Oh, yes. For me. Pizza on pineapple.
Yeah. Pizza on pineapple or pineapple on pizza.
No, well, same thing.
It's good stuff.
Oh, it is actually pineapple on pizza. I've got, I know you can read that. It actually says pizza on pineapple when it should be the other way around.
There you go. I thought you said completely correct, and I was wrong.
I thought you said pizza and pineapple.
Oh.
All right, so the next interview will be minus Matt because he just embarrassed me. Favorite movie?
Ooh, you go first. I'll have to think about this one.
Probably Goodfellas.
Oh,
I kind of like Shaun of the Dead. It's a comedy, but it's a good film.
It's a hard one. It's a good movie, isn't it?
If you could have dinner with anyone, real or fictional, who would it be and why?
Probably Pete. We just don't get enough time to do stuff, you know. Now, I'd have to say, I'd really like to meet Dave Grohl. That'd be lovely.
Yeah, I'd go with John Lennon. He's been my idol for a very long time. I'd love to pick his brains and just have a chat with him.
Cool. If you were arrested, what would the crime be?
Throwing stones at airplanes and sniffing old man's bicycle seats.
Probably just. Yes, I wasn't even surprised by that.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't even flinch, mate.
Better either, I was like, oh, it sounds like the norm. Where were we with this one?
If you was to get arrested, what would it be for?
Oh,
with this one, I don't know.
I would say like being loud somewhere. Being too loud. Like singing too loud. Everyone told me to shut up and still singing.
Cool.
Yeah, being too loud. Loud nuisance. Public nuisance.
Would you rather be pretty or smart?
Oh, well, I'm happy with who I am, so I'd go with smart.
See, I didn't react much to that either. Smart, I would go smart too.
Matt thinks you're not pretty, Pete.
I know. Get that vibe.
All right. If you were, last one, if you were a wrestling champion, what song would you play as you're walking to the ring?
That's you, Matt. Your first one.
I'd play a song called Stormy Weather by Owls of Neptune.
Cool.
Oh, that's a good one, that. I can't really top that one. Well,
It's a good one. It'd be fucking
I
good.
was thinking he was going to say YMCA or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I lost last time I used it.
I don't know. It's got to be a Rocky anthem, hasn't it? I had a tiger.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Well, guys, thanks for your time. All the best.
Thank
If you ever make it down to Melbourne, give me a ring.
100%.
I'll come in from Horsham and watch the gig.
Yeah, was there Horsham? Any live gigs out your way or what?
You're not in your genre. I get in trouble.
We don't know the genre.
No, but they like both kinds of music out here,
Yeah.
country and western.
Oh, nice.
Fair enough.
Very good.
We'll have to
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started on the station, I found that there was a lot of country music. I got myself into trouble because if you go onto YouTube, there's a track called "What Happens If You Play a Country Song Backwards." You know, your dog comes back, your truck works, your wife stays there, you got a job. I got myself in trouble for that. But there are a lot of places, Ballarat. They do live bands out here. But if you head down this way, give us a yell, and we'll try and catch up for a home brew, Pete.
Yeah, I'll bring a cake down.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks
Thank you,
for
Brian.
your time.
Let me talk to you, Brian.
Bye.